Welcome to Fast Keto. I'm your host, Ketogenic Girl.
Did you know that you actually have the option to either be a sugar burner or a fat burner? It's called having a metabolic advantage. You can actually burn your own stored body fat for fuel. On this show, we talk about ketogenesis, fasting, biohacking, all with the goal of optimal body composition for longevity and having the highest possible quality of life. I hope you enjoy these interviews and solo casts that I present to you, all with this goal in mind. Hey guys, welcome back to Fast Keto for this episode, which is all about how to practice mindfulness to banish self-sabotage. And I think it is such an important topic. It's one of the things that I hear about the most when I do polls and ask you guys for feedback on what is it that's preventing you from getting to your goals and maintaining your results once you've gotten to your goals. So I'm going to talk all about that on today's micro episode of Fast Keto. Hey guys, so I want to tell you about a brand new company that I just found out about called E-Meals. What they do is offer a service that makes it a little bit easier to follow any kind of lifestyle. They've been doing it with paleo for a while and with other kinds of diet and lifestyle, and they just launched a brand new one for keto. So what they do is they have a keto plan which includes dietitian approved meals and targets the right macros for you, and the meals are easy to make and taste amazing. What happens is each week you get 7 dinners, 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, and 1 dessert, and that connects directly to a smart shopping list with online grocery pickup and delivery options. And that saves you time and money. So the meal plan directly connects to the shopping list, and you can go through this app that they have and pick out meals that you like, recipes you like, kind of customize and build your meal for the week, and it will take that, send it to your local grocery that does deliveries, and the groceries will show up at your door, and then you have the recipes in the app that you can make meals from during the week. So I think they offer a really great service. It really enables you to save time and money because of being directly connected to your local grocery store with this smart shopping list. It's a subscription-based app, and you also get access to other bonus collections of keto recipes from different keto authors and other influencers in the space that specialize in the keto space. 4-week keto is all you really need to maintain a ketogenic diet on their easy-to-use platform. So go to emeals.com/keto today, and you'll get a 14-day trial if you want to test them out. That's emeals.com/keto, and check them out. Let me know if you like the service, what you think of it. If it's something that you found helpful for you, I would love to know. So be sure to go check them out. I definitely recommend this as a fantastic app and service. So hope you enjoy it. All right, guys, so today I want to talk about self-sabotage, and the reason I want to talk about it is because it's really one thing to use keto or use low carb or use some of these amazing tools like intermittent fasting and all of this to get to our results. But one of the things that I hear the most from you when I do polls and ask for feedback is that one of the biggest obstacles for you is self-sabotage. And I resonate so much with that myself because I know that for a long time, I didn't even know that I was self-sabotaging my own results. And it was really a process to figure out that I was the one that was sabotaging my own results. I would get to my goals, I would get to what I want, and then I would backtrack. I would, quote unquote, fall off the wagon. I would do things that would unravel all the hard work and results that I had achieved. And one of the biggest hacks for me has been developing the art of mindfulness. So I started meditating back when I was in university. I used to go to this Buddhism meditation center near my house because they had group meditations, and I learned how to meditate. We would do classes on meditation. We would sit and meditate for an hour at a time, and I found it incredibly challenging, but I loved it. I loved learning to meditate and become aware of my inner dialogue. And over the years, I have maintained a practice, not an hour a day. These days, it's more like 15 minutes a day. I wake up, and before I do anything else in my day, my morning routine starts with 15 minutes of meditation. So I put a timer on my phone for 15 minutes, and in that time, I practice conscious breathing. I focus on my breath, and whenever I notice myself thinking, I just label it thinking. I gently push it away like a little boat, and I go back to focusing on my breath or a mantra. And then again, I notice that I'm thinking, I label it thinking, I push it away, and I come back to my breath. And every time you do that, it's like being in the gym and doing a rep. It's basically like going to the gym for your brain. And you can do this every day for 5 minutes a day, for 10 minutes a day. 15 minutes is huge. 20 minutes, if you love it, keep going. Sometimes I'll get in such a great meditation, I just keep putting the timer back on and restarting it, and I'll do 45 minutes or an hour because the meditation is going so well, and I really want to devote that time to it. It's feeling amazing, and I love getting behind that inner dialogue, behind that inner voice that is trying to help me live my best life, but sometimes really gets in the way of me achieving my results. Now, one of the things about our inner dialogue is it often can create really stressful thoughts and therefore really stressful feelings. And the reason for that is we are the descendants of the most paranoid cavemen and women that used to walk on the earth. And those are the ones who were looking in every single bush thinking there was a saber-toothed tiger hiding in it. And those are the ones who survived, because the ones who weren't paranoid and anxious, weren't looking behind each bush, got eaten by that tiger. And we're the descendants of the most paranoid, the most anxious cavemen and women that lived because they needed to have that instinct to always be in the worst case scenario, focused on the worst case scenario. Now, in our modern lives, we don't have a lot of tigers hiding in the bush, but we have other kinds of worries. And whenever we are stressed, our body's hormones put us in a situation where we cannot help but focus on the worst case scenario. And even if you have an incredible amount of stress in your life or a mild amount of stress, one of the things that you can do, the most powerful thing that you can actually do, aside from going to India and living in an ashram and getting rid of all your stress, although you might be there and be even more stressed because you've just walked away from your job, your life, from everything temporarily. But even being on a holiday can be stressful if you are not being mindful of your inner dialogue. And practicing meditation, it's like sharpening your axe. You can start to become aware of what that inner dialogue is. Now, I'm doing a seasonal fast right now, and I love taking the opportunity to really deepen my spiritual practice, my inner dialogue, my meditation practice. And it is such a powerful tool to be able to become aware of how we speak to ourselves. So one of the things that I did once I was on a flight, it was about 10 hours long, and I started playing a game with myself where I would journal every time I noticed myself thinking something and speaking to myself. And I started writing down the thoughts that I was having. And I was shocked at how I spoke to myself. I spoke to myself not in a way that was respectful, kind, loving. I spoke to myself in a way that I wouldn't speak to someone that I despised. And this was my own inner dialogue. And I found it really alarming to hear some of the ways that I was judging myself, insulting myself, and being disrespectful to myself in my own mind. And by doing this, I was making myself feel horrible without realizing where that was coming from. And it's in those times that I would look to food as a way to soothe those feelings. It's an instant distraction. It's instant feel good. It's instant pleasure. It's instant reward. It's instant distraction from negative or uncomfortable feelings. And when I started becoming aware of this connection, I would see when I would have these really strong urges to go sabotage myself with We all have those certain foods that you can't just have one bite of. There's a reason you can't just have one bite of it. It's not just because of the carb content usually, but it's also because it's being used as a stress relief, as some kind of distraction. And for me, that was coconut butter. It's one of those things, just like heavy whipped cream. I could just eat an entire jar of it. And it was because I was using it as a tool, as a distraction to alleviate feelings of discomfort. And when I started noticing when I would have those urges, if I could just be mindful in that moment, what was I focusing on? How was I speaking to myself in that moment? What kind of stressful thoughts was I having that were making me feel awful and that was creating urges for me to go and self-sabotage with these things that were off plan, that were not going to help me get to my goals, or that were going to detract from all of the health that I had gained from working so hard to get there. And having this daily mindfulness, this daily meditation of 15 minutes, it helps build this muscle where you can become more aware of that inner dialogue, more conscious of it. And having positive affirmations can also help with redirecting those thoughts in a loving way. But the most powerful thing is just observing, becoming the witness to that inner dialogue, and becoming an observer of what is passing through, what is going on. What are you doing in there? What are you thinking of? What are you focusing on? And it's also a way to become aware of how stressed out you are at any given moment. Are you focusing on the worst case scenario? Are you having thoughts that are then triggering scary images of the worst case scenario that are making you feel uncomfortable or scared or anxious? And all of those things, you don't have to instantly shut them off. It's just by becoming the witness and realizing that you are not your mind. Your mind is trying to help you survive and stay alive by focusing on the worst case scenario. You can thank your mind for being there for you and trying to help you out, but realize that in this moment, there's no tiger in the bush. You can just be in your safe, comfortable office or safe, warm home, or wherever it is that you are, in your car driving, stuck in traffic, maybe wherever you are. You can just be there in that moment. You can just observe the fact that you're having stressful, anxious thoughts, and you can just be mindful of it. Isn't that interesting? Look at what my mind is doing. It's trying to help me out by focusing on the worst case scenario, but I don't have to identify with all those thoughts. I can take my focus away from that onto something that feels better, or I can just observe it in the moment. And meditation is a tool that helps us be able to do that. It helps us be able to be mindful, be conscious, be aware of what those thoughts are, what that focus is. Now, there's some great tools that have really helped me to do this. I have some great apps on my phone. I have this one called Oak, which sends me these cute little motivational reminders like, meditation helps unleash creativity. And then I'm like, oh, I really want to meditate. I'm going to go meditate now. And I love these little motivational reminders that it sends me. There's some great meditation apps on there. There's some fantastic YouTube meditations that you can just put on anywhere you are when you're in, you have a 5 or 10 minute or 20-minute break to just listen to guided meditation. If just observing your breath is not somewhere that you're at this time. And guided meditations, I do them all the time. They're really helpful to just have someone else guiding you. I'm actually going to be doing some meditations that I'm going to be releasing on the podcast for anyone who wants a guided meditation and finds that helpful. But it is such a great tool. There's so many ways to access it with helpful apps, with helpful, YouTube videos. There's a few books that have really helped me with this. One is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I post about it all the time because it really helped me understand why these thoughts happen, how to become the observer and the witness of the mind. And another really powerful book for me was The Power of Now, which I read when I was at UBC in Vancouver University. A friend gave me this book, and I could not put this book down. I was just amazed that anyone was talking about this, that this inner dialogue happens, and that you can just observe it, you can just witness it, you can watch it, and you don't have to identify with it. And it was so powerful for me to really learn that. And those two books have really helped me with being the witness. Another great book is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, where he talks about these four agreements. And the most powerful one for me was realizing not to take anything personally, that things that other people do, our minds react to them. And those reactions sometimes come out of nowhere. Like someone will come up to you and be like, hey, I just got a new car. And your mind instantly goes, well, I don't need a new car. I like my car. I love my car. I don't need to get a new car. And it's like, why are you telling me that? This is about this person telling me this new information. Like, why is your mind having this reaction? It cannot help but interpret everything that everyone else does around us or everyone else says around us, even if it has nothing to do with us. It cannot help but make it personal. And when you learn that nothing is personal, everything that someone says, even if it's said directly at you, even if it's done directly to you, it doesn't have to do with you. It has to do with them and their personal experience, their personal journey. And when you realize that, you can detach yourself from that. And it really is by practicing this loving, kind, non-judgmental dialogue towards ourselves, observing when our dialogue is less than loving, kind, and gentle and respectful towards ourselves, and practicing this mindfulness, this conscious living, that we can really get to our results much quicker. We can understand why we have cravings for things sometimes that we really struggle against because we just want to alleviate or have some relief from feeling uncomfortable or dealing with uncomfortable thoughts or emotions. And how we can kind of let those experiences and those feelings pass through us and accept them without having to resist them or push them away or try to cling to things or positive experiences, where we can only have a great day if nothing that we don't want to have happen happens, and everything that we do want and we're clinging to happens. And that sets ourselves up to fail every single day and not have a pleasant experience of living, because there's no way that you are not going to encounter anything that you don't like in a day, and you're only going to encounter things that you do like and appreciate. It's just not possible. And living in this way that's very reactive all the time, it's just a way that you're not going to be able to enjoy your experience of living on a day-to-day basis if you're in that mindset and mode. And these books really help me to understand more about that, especially The Untethered Soul. As I'm doing my seasonal fast right now, I'm actually doing a course by Michael Singer, which is available through Sounds True. And he really does these amazing sessions talking more deeply about the mind, how it works, and practicing this mindfulness. But I got so much out of his books. They were so fantastic. So these are some little ways that you can incorporate more mindfulness into your life. Another thing I like to do is when I do yoga at the end, sort of when Shavasana starts, I'll put a pause on the YouTube video that I'm watching that I usually do my yoga from, and I'll put a timer on my phone then for 15 minutes or on my iPad, and then I'll just meditate for 15 minutes laying there on my yoga mat. And it's a really nice time to do that as well. So little ways where you can fit meditation in. Sometimes it's just 1 minute of taking deep breaths. Just take 1 minute out of your day to breathe and just have deep breaths. And that goes such a long way. You wouldn't believe the impact that 1 minute can have on your day. So I hope you found this helpful or useful, this little micro episode this week. And if you're looking for more information on fasting and autophagy, I had an episode on that this week. And I also had a fantastic episode this week with Dr. Ken Berry. So be sure to check those out. And if you liked any of these episodes, you had any takeaways, leave me a comment on Instagram. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your takeaways. It makes my whole day. And I love hearing your feedback on what you love to hear about, what you want to hear more of. And I can provide more and more of that to you. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone that you think might benefit from bringing more mindfulness into their lives. We all deal with self-sabotage, and this episode might be helpful for someone that you love or someone that is in your life that you think could benefit from this short episode talking about mindfulness. So I hope you have a fat-filled rest of your day. Thanks for being here with me today, and bye for now.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being here today and tuning in. I would like to invite you to check out the 20-Day Ketogenic Girl Challenge. A lot of the things that we talked about on today's episode, I find are really solved by doing a ketogenic meal plan like the one that I designed, the 20-Day Ketogenic Girl Challenge. And a lot of that comes down to having someone already calculate everything for you, having the macros all dialed in for you, having this meal plan with all the portions already outlined for you. It really helps address a lot of the portion control issues, and having everything calculated already really helps with preparation and doing batch prep. A lot of people on the challenge will pick out a day, say on Saturday or Sunday, and they'll meal prep ahead for the week, and they'll pick 2 or 3 days from the plan that they love, and they'll repeat it, such as day 5, which has the burger with my special keto burger sauce, and repeat that. And you can do that as many times as you like, and it really makes preparation and following keto and the meal plans a lot easier, and doing that batch prepping and meal prep on the weekend. And the meal plans also come with a shopping list. They come with a full guide to testing yourself for ketosis. And the best part is they include my support and coaching in our members Facebook group, which is an awesome community. I love being in there, and it really helps so much having other people doing this program with you and alongside, and people who've done it already and successfully reach their goals there to inspire you and to support you. And having that community built in is so important. Our success rates go way up when we're doing any kind of diet or lifestyle change when we have a buddy. And I'm here to be your buddy, to be your guide, and help you with your journey, because you can post any questions that you have about keto, about the meal plans, about low carb, and I am there to answer your questions and to support you as you go. And I just think it makes such a big difference to have a coach and a support group and a supportive community around you. So check out the 20-Day Ketogenic Girl Challenge. Just a word of caution, there is another 20-day keto challenge that's being sold. It is not mine. I only sell my program from ketogenicgirl.com. So if you see a link to that, it's a copycat version that has kind of popped up in the last year. It also has a similar name, 20-Day Ketogenic Challenge. But if you are looking for my program, which comes with my support and coaching, you can only get it from ketogenicgirl.com, and make sure that you are purchasing the one from me, because I have some people who have purchased this other program thinking that it's my program, and the coaching and support is not included because it's not the program that I formulated and that has had so much success. If you want to read and check out some of the success stories, you can go to ketogenicgirl.com and click on testimonials and reviews or success stories, and you can read some of the dozens and dozens of success stories of people who have done the challenge. And if you join the program, you'll get to interact with so many of those people in the group who've had real success and are there to share tips and tricks for making all of this so much easier and so much fun. So check out the 20-Day Ketogenic Girl Challenge at ketogenicgirl.com. And until the next episode, I hope you have a fat-filled rest of your day. A few disclaimers. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice, as I am not a qualified healthcare provider. The information presented on this podcast is for educational purposes only. Ketogenic Girl is not qualified to provide medical advice. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to this podcast. Prior to beginning a ketogenic diet, you should undergo a full health screening with your physician to confirm that a keto diet is suitable for you and to rule out any conditions or contraindications that may pose risk or that are incompatible with a ketogenic diet. A keto diet may or may not be appropriate for you if you have any kind of health condition, whether known to you or unknown, so you must consult your physician to find this out. Anyone under the age of 18 should consult with their physician and their parents or legal guardian.